Namaste, my friends. Welcome back. Today's class is all about balance. You're going to need your blocks potentially, so if you have them, grab them. You're also going to need a bolster or something to sit yourself up on, which could also be the block. Just something to get your hips above your knees for a little bit of pranayama at the beginning of this practice. Pranayama, if we haven't already discussed it, is energy movement or breath work. So basically moving the energy via the breath. So grab whatever you need and come and I'll meet you on the mat. So come into a comfortable seat. Make sure that your hips are higher than your knees. You can sit on a chair if you'd like for this part of the practice. You really just make sure that you are comfortable. And the breath work, the pranayama that we will be working on today is called alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana, which is the Sanskrit. Alternate nostril breathing is incredibly important as a balancing tool, because what we will do is, what it sounds like, is you breathe through one nostril and then the other rather than both at the same time. Doing this can balance the right and the left hemisphere of the brain. It can alleviate headaches. It can reduce anxiety. It's really just has an abundance of uses, and it's a really good way to start a meditation practice. So today is actually not going to be a meditation practice. It will be a yoga flow. But I wanted to offer this pranayama to you to use at other times as well, whenever you're feeling anxious, whenever you just want to find a little bit more balance in your life. So to begin, we'll be doing this with our right hand. If you do it with the left hand, it's going to be essentially the same. But there are a couple ways to start this. So basically, you'll take your right hand and you want to bend. Take the index finger and the middle finger down into the palm. So you might need to take your thumb to kind of help guide them. I know for me this is a little bit difficult. Now all my fingers want to spread out. I should obviously work on my finger stretching. But you are going to probably, I'll show you another option as well, but you're going to be controlling the breath with your ring finger and your thumb. So your pinky is just sort of sitting there on its own by itself. Anyway, so we'll come and you can inhale through both nostrils first. And exhale. And then you'll take the thumb to the right nostril, and so you push into, not down into the nose, but you block off the right nostril with the thumb, and inhale through the left. Take your ring finger, block both nostrils, and then release the thumb and exhale through the right. Now inhale through the right. Block both nostrils, and then exhale through the left. And now if the ring finger is not doing it for you, you can take all three fingers down into the middle, like we're gonna go surfing, and take the pinky and do the same thing with the pinky and the thumb instead. And it's the same with the left hand rather. It's just the opposite. So first, before we begin, let's just close the eyes. We can move the shoulders forward, up and back. Allow the shoulders to relax. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And a deep breath out through the nose. Once again, inhale through the nose, through both nostrils. And exhale through the nose. Now take your hand, prepare to start Nadi Shodhana. We'll do this for a couple minutes. Block off the right nostril with the thumb. Inhale through the left nostril. Block both nostrils at the top. And then release the thumb and exhale through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. Block at the top. Release the left side and exhale. Inhale through the left. Pause and block both sides at the top. And exhale through the right. Inhale right. Pause and block at the top. Exhale left. Now continue on your own, inhaling through the left. And I will speak to you again in a few moments. And the next time you exhale through the left nostril, you can allow the hands to fall into the lap. And allow the breath to return to normal. Inhaling and exhaling once again through both nostrils. Noticing how perhaps breathing this way has changed something in your body or in your mind. Perhaps drawing your attention inward. One more deep breath here. Exhale through the nose. And then bring your hands onto the mat. Move the bolster out of the way if you are sitting on it or the blocks. And come into tabletop. Spread the fingers wide. Come into your neutral spine. Come into a comfortable place. And now move the knees in a little bit closer. Press through the toes. Your toes are flipped under. Engage the core and lift the knees. Really kind of just waken up the core here. And release. Again, engage the navel, suck the navel up and into the spine, lift the knees. Just maybe an inch or two off the mat. And release. Spread the fingers wide, press through the base of the knuckles, lift the knees, and this time take the right knee to the right elbow, left knee to left elbow, 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. Come back down. And again, lift the knees. Knees between the elbows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. Press the heart space back towards the thighs. Allow the head to be heavy. Bend one knee and then the other. And then inhale, bend both knees and hop, step, or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, swoop the arms down, around and up. Reach for the sky, and exhale, press the air away. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Crown reaches away from the tailbone. Exhale, fold. Step it back, plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Second chaturanga to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Drop the right or left heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Press the right hip back, left hip forward. Lengthen the tailbone towards the mat. Bend into the right knee. Knit the rib cage closed, so we're not arching and splaying the ribs, but really pretend that you're wearing a corset and you're tied it real tight. Which we don't do these days because it's not good for the body, but to keep the rib cage closed engages the core and keeps the back in neutral. Exhale, plant the palms, step it back, vinyasa. To downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step it through, drop the right heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Allow the right heel to sink towards the mat. Bend in the left knee, press the right hip forward. Knit the rib cage up and in. Allow the shoulders to relax. Inhale here. And exhale, plant the palms. Step it back, plank, vinyasa. To downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts up and back. Exhale, step it through. Drop the left heel down. Inhale, warrior one. And this is where you might need the blocks if you have them, so grab them close. It's going to can potentially help with bringing the ground to you in some of these next poses. So we're going to progress into some balancing poses a little bit later on, but this flow is very much a progression flow towards more difficult poses. So we've already done warrior one. Now straighten through the right knee, square the hips, and then hinge at the hips, core tight, so flat back. Hinge at the hips, keep the left heel down, bring the body forward in extended side stretch. And this is where the blocks are handy to keep the back long. So make sure the left hip doesn't open here. Make sure that we, like a book, close that left hip down, press the right hip back. You might need to bring the legs a little bit closer together. Might need to bring the left toes a little bit more towards the front of the mat. Really just play with where you're at. And there's no better or worse if your legs are closer together or farther apart. It's just working on where you're at in your body. So keep your hands on the blocks if you have them. Lengthen the crown of the head away from the tailbone so we have a flat back. And then fold. Extended side stretch. Keeping the back as flat as possible, not rounding here to try to reach the toes. And then that's where the blocks can really come in handy if you can't come down to the mat. Inhale. And exhale, step it back, plank, vinyasa to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Drop the right heel down. You can move the right foot a little bit wider, left to right, or to the right rather. And inhale, warrior one. Readjusting your stance is necessary. Originally, warrior one was done basically on a tightrope, so your feet are in a line. But as a woman with hips and a pelvis that is not the same as a man's. Sometimes it's easier to move the feet a little bit wider left to right. So square that right hip forward, straighten through the left knee, engage the core, knit the rib cage in, flat back, and then begin to hinge at the hips and fold forward. Again, grab the blocks if you need to, if that is a little bit more of support for you. Excellent, that's what they're there for. Keep the back flat, and then you can come as far as you're able to with that flat back. Instead of rounding, hinge at the hips, press the left hip back, right hip forward, extended side stretch. And you may notice that one side is different than the other. That's okay. Our bodies are not symmetrical. We have stronger sides and weaker sides and tighter sides and more flexible sides and bigger and smaller and wonky and crooked, and it's fine. Inhale here. Exhale, plant the palms, step it back, plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, second chaturanga to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through, drop the left heel down, inhale, warrior one. Straighten through the right knee. Take the right hand to the right hip and reach all the way forward with the left hand. Again, grab that block if you've got it. Otherwise, you can use your shin. Press the right hip back, left hip forward, reach the right arm up to the sky. Reverse triangle. Keep pressing the left hip forward, right hip back, lengthen through the spine. Keep the right hand engaged, but don't dump onto the block with the left arm. And you can play here too with how high you want the block, if you're even using one at all. If you don't have access to a block, you can always do this from the shin, which is a lot harder for the balance part, or keep your hand on the mat. Excellent. Plant the palms, step it back, plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, second chaturanga to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Drop the right heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Straighten through the left leg, left hand to hip. Hinge from the hips, reach forward with the right arm. And then drop the right hand to a block, the mat, the shin, into the air. I don't know. I'm not sure if that would work. And then use the right hand to maneuver the heart space towards the left. Press down through the right heel, lift the left hand to the sky. Excellent. Plant the palms, step it back, plank, vinyasa. To downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step it through. Drop the left heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Straighten through the right leg. Hinge at the hips. Extended side stretch. So both hands down. Press the right hip back, left hip forward. Allow the left heel to be heavy. Keep your left hand on the mat, reach the right arm up, or on a block. And then reach the right arm up. Reverse triangle. And then bend through the left knee. Take the left hand a couple feet in front of the right foot. Lift the left heel up. Flex through the left foot. Keep the left hip down. And reach to the sky with the right hand. Reverse half moon. Again, you can be doing this on the block. Do your best to keep the hips square. Excellent. Step it back, plant the palms. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Second chaturanga to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg reaches up and back. Exhale, step it through. Warrior one. Again, noticing your alignment, seeing if the ribs have a tendency to splay. Try to combat that by engaging the core. Straighten through the left leg. Hinge at the hips. Keep a long flat back, reach forward. And then bring your hands to the mat or to the block in extended side stretch. Then doing your best to keep the right hip down, take your right hand to the mat, reach the left arm up. Reverse triangle. From here, bend the right knee, take the right hand a foot or two above, in front of the left foot, launch forward, and lift the right heel to the sky, flex the right foot. I'm having a hard time with my balance today, so grab a block if you need to. Keep the right foot flexed, right hip down, reach the left arm to the sky. Reverse half moon. And step it back, plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Second chaturanga to downward facing dog. Balancing poses are great, but can be very difficult. If your mind is distracted, you fall out of it. So, good job wherever you're at. Now take the left foot up. Take the weight onto the right hand, bend the left knee, and see if you can grab your left foot with your left hand. Focusing on a point on the mat for balance. If you fall over, come back to it. And release. Other side, take the weight onto the left foot. Inhale, right leg up, bend the knee, open the hip. Take your weight onto the left hand and see if you can grab the right ankle with the right hand. And if you fall out of it, just come back into it. Focusing on a point on the mat for balance. And release. Wherever you're at, whatever you did, pat on the back. Good job. Rock forward to plank, side plank or right side down. Lift the left hand to the sky. Lengthen the tailbone towards the heels. Knit the rib cage in. Shoulder above wrist. Reach up and over. Plank, side plank, other side. Reach up and over. Plank. Bring the knees to the mat as wide as the mat. Press the hips back. Child's pose. A well-deserved child's pose. Inhale, come back up. Come to a seat. Take the legs in front of you. Flex through the feet. You can move the fleshy part away from the buttocks. Inhale, flat back, lift, grow taller. Exhale, fold. Forward fold. Try to keep the back flat. We're not rounding so that we can reach the feet. Inhale, come up. Get a little taller. See if you can hinge from the abdomen. So exhale, fold. See if that changes how the stretch feels to you. You may notice that you can't go as far, but the stretch feels more powerful in the hamstrings, which is where you should be feeling it rather than the lower back. Inhale, come back up. Take the right foot into the left thigh. Reach. And exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Janu Sirsasana. Inhale, walk back up. Right leg long this time, left foot to the right thigh. Inhale, reach, grow taller. And exhale, hinge from the hips, fold. Inhale, coming back up. And grab those blocks, or at least one block for now, and come to roll down onto the back. Take the left leg long, right foot to the inside of the left thigh, and take the block under the right thigh. So you might notice that this looks a little bit like tree pose, and that's because it is tree pose, but on the back. So keep that block underneath the right thigh so that the hips can remain square. That is to say that the right hip is not falling over to the mat and then therefore making the left hip lift. And take your hands above your head in a big Y. You can flex the left foot up to the sky, but allow the right hip to be heavy. And switch sides. So take the left leg in now, right leg long, left leg to the left foot to the right thigh, and then take the block underneath the left hip in order to keep the hip square. And once again, take your hands above your head in a Y. Now take the soles of the feet together. Keep the one block underneath the left thigh and take the other block and put it underneath the right thigh. Soles of the feet together, knees falling left and right. You can bring your hands to your sides. The blocks underneath the knees help the legs to relax because the inner thighs no longer have to do the work of holding the legs up, so they can allow the muscles to relax more completely. So instead of going into Shavasana today, this is where I shall leave you. Feel free to take Shavasana if you choose, or you can choose to remain in a supported Supta Baddha Konasana. Remember that you can come back to the breath that we practiced in the beginning of this class whenever you feel the desire, whenever you need to balance things out or you need to reduce some stress. You have a couple minutes, it's definitely useful and very easy to do. And here, take the time to find calm, find stillness. It's not always about finding balance on one foot or the other. Sometimes it's about finding balance between work and play and relaxation and time for self-care. So take the time now to cultivate that balance of self-care. know that you are allowed this time, that it is beneficial and will replenish that cup so that you can serve others from a full cup, from a full heart, from a healthy body. So take the time now, and I will see you tomorrow for our next class together. Namaste.